Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Patriotic Populist. I am co-founder of the Patriotic Populist, and I've got a couple of things I've got to get out of the way. Those of you who have followed the United States Nationalist Party might recognize me as the former president of that party. In the last couple of weeks, me and the top party advisor, Mr. David Gusick, have decided that a third-party option is no longer viable. So, we have decided to form an organization and shut down the party. And I really hated to do that, but I hope during this video that I can explain why we did it. You see, it's been my hope for a long time that a third party could break into the two-party system. Any third party, even libertarians, Greens, hell, the DSA. As much as I despise them, they could probably, change something if they were there. So, I founded the party last May and decided that I would give it a shot myself. That I'd try to make a difference. And over the course, we had membership go up and then go back down. And it started to really occur to me that a party with no money, well, hell, even a party with money, libertarians are not short for cash themselves. There's just no chance right now for anybody to break into the system. The all-or-nothing voting system that America uses, it mathematically almost always boils down to two major parties. So, we shut down the party. But I'm not going to step out of politics. So we talked about it a little bit, and we decided that instead of trying to go for the third party option, what we would do instead was found an organization dedicated to raising awareness to our goals. And the Patriotic Populist is a new organization that we've created with the explicit dedicated purpose to raising awareness about populism and to try to help get more populist-minded candidates in office. And that goes for both parties, also the Libertarians and the Greens, which the Greens are pretty populist already, but what I'm saying is that what we're hoping to do is to help convince people that it is the corporate money and the corruption that's causing this right now. And that it's high time that we, as a nation, start to understand that populism is the way of the future in this country. So, with that out of the way, I think it would be apt to explain some of the policies surrounding the Patriotic Populist that we believe in. So, disclaimer, the reason that I'm mentioning the party is because, it's two reasons. The first reason is that a lot of the policies that we had with the party will carry over to the Patriotic Populist. So, economic protectionism, pro-union, a hard stance on trade. You get the general idea. Most of our policies from that were the same. Now, we hope to publish a more complete list of policies in the next couple of months. But so the second reason is that I sat around for a couple of days in the interim of shutting down the party and starting the Patriotic Populist and debated whether or not we should start from a clean slate. And I decided this, and me and Nevin decided this together. I should say I will not discredit him at all for this. Is if we tried to hide the fact that we once founded and ran the United States Nationalist Party, then, well, you can't hide that forever. We live in the digital age, and that means that there's no hiding anything. So we decided to embrace it, and that's one of the reasons you'll notice we left the previous 4 videos up under new names to algorithm purposes for that, which is one of the other big issues that we had trying to run a party is once you put nationalist in the name, well, Algorithms don't like that. And I'll also say this about nationalism in general. This is a good place to start from, and why we chose the term populist. See, I have what I believe are nationalist views, as far as I believe the nation is the most important thing to preserve, that our economy should be nationally focused, that our law system of justice, all this should be nationally focused stuff. And I genuinely believe that, and if you believe that way and you claim to be a nationalist, then no problem with you. But the problem is that there is a negative connotation attached to nationalism that is rightfully earned. We've seen it. A lot of the people that are claiming to be nationalists nowadays have very bad motives, and I've seen it with the party. You see, one of the biggest considerations that we took in shutting down the party is I noticed the people that were liking the page and not the best characters. There were a lot of people genuinely interested in helping the country, and I'm not taking anything away from them, but at the same time, there were a lot of white nationalists. There was a lot of people that should not have a voice in this political discussion anymore. And I knew that had we kept the party open for a little bit longer, maybe another couple of years, we would have gained some more members, but it would be an eternally losing gatekeeping operation is what it would be. So we shut down the party, and one of the things that I'm enjoying about the freedom of having an organization instead of a party is the fact that I don't have to gatekeep right now. I don't have to care about who likes the page. I don't have to watch out and try to ask for membership, because it's me and it's Nevin and it's whoever else wants to come on board with us that we believe are productive people. And it gives you a lot more freedom. It also gives you more freedom. See, I don't have to force everything into the dialogue of our party anymore. I can just talk, and I think I'm going to really enjoy this. I am enjoying it, really. So, where we are now. It's the Patriotic Populist, the name that we chose for, you can estimate the reasoning behind that, is an organization dedicated to raising awareness about populism, to help promote populist candidates. I've said this before, but I'm trying to give you the better outline. And that our goal is to fund and raise fund candidates that fit our beliefs in both parties, to help hold organizational rallies, to help local communities. There's a lot of things that we want to do now, and it gives us a little more freedom. Now, one thing is, God willing, this channel ever gets big enough, we can take ad revenue to help increase what we're doing. We don't have to worry about in-kind contributions. We're an organization. There's a lot of things that I think that this is the best option. As much as it pained me to say that, because the USNP was a passion of mine, and I really enjoyed it while I was there. And I met a lot of good people. And Nevin, me and him, we've become really good friends here lately. And one of the things is, I would have never met him from Florida. Thad Horner, another person I enjoy talking to. I don't want to start name dropping because it's always kind of an iffy situation, but a lot of people that I enjoy. A lot of people that I really enjoy being around. So, I'm taking the experience of that and applying it today, and I want to talk a little bit about third parties in general. Because I know that a lot of people that will follow us are probably, libertarians are not going to follow us for our economic beliefs, but more populist-minded individuals that have a desire to help improve the conditions. And if that's your desire, I'll welcome you here. Maybe we won't agree on everything, but we don't have to. So, the state of third parties today, this is what I've seen, is, if I'm correct, somebody please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but the Libertarian Party was founded in 1978, I think. It was somewhere right around there, maybe the mid 70s to early 80s. I believe that's definitely in the the age that right around there anyway. So they have had, let's call it 40 years, to establish themselves as a dominant political, or at least a viable political option for electing candidates, and you're just not seeing it. And the Green parties are the same thing. I know that they're a pretty old party, and it's just not working. And I don't think it's due any fault of their own at times. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the Libertarian Party shot itself in the foot many, many times because they didn't properly gatekeep the leaders in that organization. But at the same time, the Libertarian Party has a pretty popular platform that I don't agree with, but popular nonetheless. And until we get rid of all or nothing elections, I don't think that there'll ever be another third party. The closest I could see is what might be happening before long is the fact that the Republican Party is on the verge of collapse. And if the Republican Party collapses, you could see a situation like you did at the founding of the Republican Party, actually with the death of the Whig Party, where you basically get a concentrated number of people from a previous party. Excuse me, quick. Somebody's messaging me. So you get a concentrated number of people from one party that carry over and start a new one of their own, but they're not starting from scratch. So you might see, I don't know, new Teddy Party or new Republican Party, something like that. Now, I think that one of the biggest things that we're going to push for, and one thing I'm already trying to push for locally, is that there's a petition going around in Oklahoma right now to help Oklahoma become one of the first state to have statewide ranked choice voting. I think that'll help tremendously. And obviously we support getting money out of politics, more stringent campaign finance reform. I mean, there's a lot of things that can also help on the other way, but I think that right now ranked choice voting is what I can support in the short term to help. Now, I'll say this. I'm still going to be a supporter of third parties on principle. Because, for example, I'm a populist, and populism is pretty much the antithesis of libertarianism. Because libertarian, it's a individualism. It's free markets, limited government. It's not what I believe. Well, used to, but not anymore. But at least the Libertarian Party is honest about what it is. It doesn't masquerade itself as some America First organization. They care about money, and they care about individual freedoms, and that's it. Okay, I'm not going to do that. The Libertarian Party stands for a lot of things I stand for, too. Ending the wars, criminal justice reform. Heck, I even, believe that we need to restructure our tax code to make it clearer. I mean, we definitely disagree on the tax rates, but at the same time, there's common ground to be found. And somewhat similar situation with the Greens is the Green Party is, I agree with them on principles of, give me one moment, please. I need to turn this phone on airplane mode so I don't get interrupted again. 1 minute, please. Okay, I think that's got it. So the Green Party, I agree with them on a lot of principles of ecological preservation. That we shouldn't be drilling and protecting rainforest, that we should preserve the environment the best we can. I mean, I'm still a meat eater, I'm still a farmer, so we're going to have disagreements. But the point being is that I generally agree more with third parties because they're usually more honest about what they are. See, the CPUSA doesn't act like they're anything but what they are. They're a communist party. So I have a certain amount of respect and even a certain amount of support simply based off of honesty. And it's one of the things that I think will help America in the long run is supporting these third parties for the moment that we do fix our election system in a way that does allow them to get through. Because most people are disaffected at best with the two-party system. I think it's a good point to segue. So, some of the people that's followed the patriotic populist already knows my stances on a lot of stuff happening right now, but I'll give you the short and skinny of it. The world is, or the country, I'll say specifically, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, is burning down. We have race riots in the streets, we have a foreclosure crisis on the horizon, the economy is a minute from collapsing in on itself. Gold is at $2,070 an ounce, I think is what I seen earlier, which is a terrible sign for the economy. Bond markets aren't looking good right now. Mortgages aren't looking good. And the country's in a really bad shape, and it's been this way. It didn't start with the virus. This is one thing I want to make clear. Is there's a lot of people that point to the virus and say that this is the only reason the economy's in bad shape right now is because of the virus, and it's not helping. In fact, I would say that the virus has almost exaggerated the problem. I would say was the best way I could describe that. It didn't cause it, but it made it worse. And I am not very confident in the short-term future of this country. Now, I think the country will survive. We've been through worse. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie about what I believe right here. And the fact that neither party is really taking this serious right now is something that really deeply concerns me. I mean, if you think about it for a second, Congress has been on vacation pretty much since May. And if they don't, and this, I read this a while ago, Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of Treasury, I think it's Mnuchin, said that if a deal's not struck by Friday, there's not going to be one done, because they are going on vacation again from the 9th until the 8th of September. In the middle of all this. This is how much these people care about you. This is how much they want to actually help the American people. You look at the candidates. Donald Trump has really slipped in the polling here lately, and I think it's squarely on his shoulder. He's got nobody else to blame for himself, because he had the possibility of really handling this well, but he didn't. Yes, he did ban travel from China, but I remember him saying that this is no big deal and it'll pass in March. I think that there should have been a more centralized plan to help get us through this, but it's too late for that now. The damage is done. Well, still being done, but we can't go back. So, the Democrats, in a similar situation, yes, they passed the Heroes Act back in May, and it should have been passed right then, or at least debated upon the next 2 or 3 weeks instead of the Senate taking a vacation. But nonetheless, you look at somebody like Joe Biden. Joe Biden is obviously the establishment pick to not change anything. Anybody that's claiming Joe Biden is some kind of radical Marxist is an idiot, or is politically illiterate. I will say that, because I don't want to call people that just don't understand idiots. Joe Biden is the same model of Bill Clinton Democrat that Obama was. Corporations are not shaking in fear of him. They know that they're going to get by just fine. All Joe Biden's going to do is, Joe Biden is going to forget who he is, and we all know that the vice president, whoever he picks, will be the de facto president. But the thing about Joe Biden is that he's going to take a hardline stance on the Second Amendment. He's going to push more environmental policies to placate the base. But at the end of the day, Joe Biden's not going to do anything radical that's outside of the norm of Democratic candidates. And that's why people are angry. People feel like out of over 300 million people, this is really the best we can do. We can't find anybody better than these people to be our leaders. And the fact that both of them have ties to a now deceased pedophile is not an insignificant fact either. And look up the picture if you don't believe me. The thing that I'm getting to is that people are disaffected with the fact that the establishment just doesn't seem to care about it anymore. See, excuse me. Donald Trump was elected because he was an outsider, because people wanted somebody to come into Washington and take a sledgehammer to everything, to the bureaucracy, to the nepotism, to the corruption. But he's not really done that. Now, Trump has not been all bad, and I'm not trying to act like that one bit. I'm just saying that people were craving that outsider, non-establishment candidate. Joe Biden, the reason that Bernie, that it took the entire might of the DNC to bring down Bernie was because people are genuinely looking for somebody like Bernie to do the same thing Trump did, to come in and take a hammer to all of these old way of doing things that nobody likes. And that is the future of American politics. And I think that the Democrats are really putting themselves in a bad spot here because they chose Joe Biden. They chose this safe candidate in order to placate the donors and to back themselves into a corner, because infuriated is not the right word I would use to describe the Bernie bros, basically. The people the very socially progressive, the new Democrat voters that will be deciding elections in the short future. And the fact that the DNC stabbed Bernie in the back again, it did not, that didn't go over them people's heads. Anybody could see what was happening there. So, with Bernie out of the race, and with two corporate, look, Trump is not that different than an average Republican when it comes to his economic positions outside of protectionism from China. Or I'd say not just China. Trump's a bit more protectionist, but he's still the same tax cuts and deregulation Republican. And under Obama, there were some regulations that even I agreed that Obama didn't need to put on, but he didn't just go ham with it. So, what are we left with? What's the state of American politics as we know it right now? Well, if a lot of the primaries are anything to show by, the Democrats right now are experiencing a new wave of, I'm going to use the word AOC-like to describe them, even though I'm not saying they're the same as AOC, but young, very progressive Justice Democrats are winning. I think they won 8. No. That was combined. Okay. They've won a handful of seats from the old establishment incumbents, and you can expect that to increase a little more as some of the races wrap up. So, people are craving populism. They're craving the idea that, and the belief that they should be able to decide their country's fate. It shouldn't just be the hands of a select few ultra-wealthy people. So, that's one of the reasons that we're here, is that I believe that our establishment, our supposed leaders, have made a royal mess of things, and it's not getting any better. They're going to continue to do the same shady backdoor tactics that they have for generations, because they know that we don't have the power to do it as a disunited people. Now, one thing I did do, and I want to make this very clear in the first episode of my show, I am never going to tell you who to vote for. I might talk good about some candidates, I might talk bad about other candidates, but I'm not going to say you need to vote Republican, or you need to vote Democrat, or you need to vote Libertarian or Green, or anybody. It's not my place to say that. You have your own issues that you believe in very passionately, and I want you to express them beliefs however you believe. We're a democratic system. And I believe as a democratic system that you should vote your conscience. For me personally, I'm probably going to vote for Brian Carroll of the American Solidarity Party, just because I believe that he's a very good Christian man, and I believe a lot of what he believes. I mean, I don't agree with his fundamental belief in distributism, but I'm not so far off that I can't agree with him on a lot of other stuff. If you're interested, American Solidarity Party has a Facebook page, and they're a really well-run party. The ticket for this year, some states have already got him as on the ballot. It will be Brian Carroll and Amar Patel will be the ticket, Amar Patel being the vice president. And Brian's a good guy, long-time teacher, well-spoken, well-read, very moral, very, very convicted in his beliefs, and I've got only good things to say about him. Another one that I'm, when I say supporting, I mean I wish them well, is Brad Barron in Kentucky, and here's why. Brad Barron is running on the Libertarian ticket for Mitch McConnell's Senate seat, and he has qualified to be on the debate stage, which I don't believe is a first that first time a third party's made it on the debate stage, but I know that it's a very rare occurrence nonetheless, and the fact that he is breaking down more barriers for third party gets him my support. And there's people like that you don't have to like all of their policies, because there's a lot of people that don't agree with my policies, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the grand arbitrator of politics and goodness. All I'm going to say is that the people that I support and why. This show, I'm going to kind of wrap it up here talking about what I hope to do with this show, and I don't want to waste any more of your time. So with this show, I hope to reach out to the American people, the working people, the doctors, the lawyers, the truck drivers, the oil field men. I don't care about the swamp creatures from Washington, and I don't care about the silver spoon podcasters you see all across politics YouTube. I want to talk to average people, and I encourage anybody that wants to have me answer some of the questions to write in. Hopefully I'll be able to have an actual dialogue with some people when I get the equipment. Hard times right now we're living in. So I want to do, and talk about events that are happening in the country, what I believe, what I don't believe. And I'll say this, it's not just me running this. This is my show, and I intend on using it for my show, but there's also Mr. Gusak. He is co-founder of this organization. He has just as much say and sway as I do, and me and him won't agree on everything, and his beliefs are his own and mine are my own. We have several people that are trying to write op-eds for us that, again, these are just common people saying what they think about stuff. And hopefully it'll take off. I really hope to do that, and not for my own personal wealth or fame, but because I really believe in the populist message, that an average man has just as much say in his country's affairs as anybody does. And that as long as we're going to be a democracy, we're going to be a true democracy. And don't give me that crap about being a republic. I know what that means. You don't even know what that means. That the average person needs to have more say in how this country's run, because effectively we're an oligarchy at this point. What average people want doesn't happen, because the powers that be understand that there's no ramifications that they'll face hardly. And I'm not even just talking about the senators. I'm talking about the people that's bankrolling these people. They know that presidents come and presidents go, and politicians come and go, but they stay. And that's what I'm trying to say is that you can't attack this system strictly by voting. Now, voting's very important. Get out there and vote for your candidate, and don't let them press you into voting for somebody who you don't want to. At the same time, start local. That's something I really want to focus on for my own self. This is not for just the organization, but I really want to start getting out into the community more to help rebuild this stuff. Our communities are broken all across this country. The black community, the white community, especially the poor white community. We're in shambles right now. We have opioid crises, we have unemployment crises, we have manufacturing. The fact that we don't have any jobs is one of the biggest things that's going on in all of our communities. And somebody needs to raise the voice. Somebody that's lived it. I'll be starting with the IBEW Electricians Union in September, hopefully, maybe October or November. It's kind of hard to say and everything going on right now. I've been a working man all my life, and I don't want to be any different. I've seen too many of these politicians that have, born into the lap of luxury, that think they know what it's like to be us, but they don't. So I encourage you, if you're, and I promise you I'm going to wrap this up, Libertarian, Green Party, Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't care. I ask you to take this journey with me and to follow along with the progress of the show, and to help raise awareness on some things. If you have any issues that you have with something I say, comment below. I'll do my best to give you a genuine response. I don't write my scripts. I don't write anything down. I know that shows. But I just want to be somebody that reaches out to the people that usually don't have a voice. And if that's all I could accomplish, that'd be enough for me. Now, I want to thank those who took the time to watch this video. YouTubers say that. But every time that I see another view on one of my videos, it really makes me happy. I hope to be doing another video. I'm not going to have a regular schedule. I'm not going to lie to you. I have a life too. And I'm doing my best right now to try to organize it, but everybody's life is a little crazy. But I hope to have another video up in a couple of days. Don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. If you want me to talk about something in the next video, leave a comment. Hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless you.